Okay, Arnold, I just need you to speak. I just need to test.
Okay. Test. 1, 2, 3, 4. Test.
Okay, let's wait for the stream to update. Arnold, I just need you to speak. I just need to test.
Okay. Test.
Great, it's working.
Okay. Test.
Finish the sentence. All right. Good morning, everybody. I just want to take a minute before we start, just to thank everybody that's joined us, and I hope you enjoy or at least learn something about our product, about our company. So, a bit about the agenda for today's little webinar. I will start just a quick little introduction, maybe 5-10 minutes. I'm not going to take too much of your time. After that, I have a short little video that I want to show you. In this video, you can learn more about the GISage group and what we do and why we do it. Feel free to ask any questions. The chat is available for you guys. So you're more than welcome to. I see Nacho is very happy to be with us. Welcome, Nacho. And let's get started. Again, any questions, feel free to ask. With me is my friend and my colleague, Arnold. Yes, he's probably bigger than Arnold Schwarzenegger than what he was back in the day. But cool. Again, feel free and let's get started. So, about GISage, we are a leading provider of energy solutions, both residential, commercial, industrial, and utility scale. So what that means is we have any solution that you might want. So we strive to deliver safe and reliable products in a smart, efficient way. Our monitoring system, if you ask me, is second to none, and we are amongst the top that's on the market right now. What is the ESS? Well, ESS is basically your energy storage system. It stores your power. It's your battery bank. It'll make sure that when your power goes out, if you're still connected to the grid, you are safe. If you aren't connected to the grid, it makes sure that on a cloudy, rainy day, you still have power. That consists of wind, solar, generator, anything that is generating power and is stored within its lithium or lead acid. We hope it's lithium because lead acid is a better thing of the past, but when we don't judge anybody here. So again, we do residential, we do batteries and inverters, commercial, we do factories, we do farms, anything, any warehousing solutions you may need. Heck, even if you're in the middle of a desert or a remote place, we have solutions that covers it all. Key features would be our advanced BMS. So our BMS is constantly communicating. There is not a second that it isn't speaking to the inverter. So the BMS is constantly giving updates on its health. It's constantly giving updates on its charge and discharge currents, and it's also constantly letting you know how you stand. So if you know your power is going to be out within an hour, at least you know you're safe and the battery, the BMS, is taking care of things. Monitoring, if you ever want to see, what's my usage, what's the battery charging at, what's the battery discharging at, all of that information is available to you. We also have all of the certifications. So TANS certifications, ISO certifications, all of the quality certifications are also in place. Also on our Cape Town list, we have our residential units that is approved by the city of Cape Town. So that means it's a good product. Cape Town, I'm not sure if everybody is aware, but Cape Town is very finicky with what they allow connecting to their grid. So they perform SANS tests and make sure that it's up to par, it's up to standard. What are the benefits of using our product compared to all the other products? It's a simple and easy installation. Most of it is plug and play. Our Gen 2 is plug and play. Our Gen 1 is busbar connected, lug connected. It's all based on your preference. We have both. We can assist with both. The market is constantly growing, and we are growing with it. Our R&D department is constantly innovating our products, bringing out new updates, bringing out new products. I believe just last month we released a new off-grid inverter that seems is going to make a big boom in the international market. Why choose us? Like I said, our R&D is constantly innovating. We are constantly evolving with the market. As we all are aware that grid standards is not constant. Anybody that struggled with ESCOM or in Zim or Tanzania, it's very unreliable. So you would want a reliable partner to fight against that. And I believe that we are that reliable partner. We are here to strive and we are here to fight for you and with you. Any problem you might have, our after sales support, if you let us know, listen, this thing's not working, we are going to be there night and day to assist you. We do have a WhatsApp group that if you just send us a comment or send me a private message, I'd be more than happy to add you to that list. What is our future? Well, we are forever expanding. We are in the Middle East. We are in Europe. We are in the Americas. We are in Africa. We aren't stopping. We want the global presence. It's not just South Africa. It's not just Tanzania. We have a major global presence. So if you ever immigrate and you go abroad, we have offices. We have offices in Poland. We have offices in Namibia. We have offices in South Africa. So we are more than happy to help you whenever you need it. So enough of my talking. I want to show you this video. So GISSAGE as a group is not just solar. As a group, we are part of many different structures. And this video is here to show you our global presence and how we stand in the world and what exactly we do and what we strive for. So let's give that a look before I hand over to my colleague Arnold.
How to empower industries with innovation in the era of technology digitization. Nimble Comprehensive Innovative Enterprise GISSAGE Group was founded in 1998 to be a comprehensive group company concentrating on both industry and investment area with ongoing value creation. It has entered the top 500 manufacturing enterprises in China since 2021. It ascended to the top 500 private enterprises in China, with sales revenue exceeding 30 billion RMB from 2022 onwards. It continuously scales new heights in the industry, emerging as a leader in guiding the transformation of consumer trade towards technological and digital pathways. Is that all? Of course not. There's more than that. GISSAGE Group takes industry and industrial investment as the double engine, spanning 6 major fields including clothing brand, new materials, new energy, bulk commodity, consumer electronics, and urban services. Clothing brand business division. It is an apparel brand division integrating design and R&D, eco-manufacturing, and global trade. Currently, it has 3 major apparel manufacturing bases, which has an explorer and pioneer of the new apparel industry, injects more vitality and innovation into fashion-intelligent manufacturing. GISSAGE Group has invited in all held famous domestic and international brands such as TKY Shop, GXG, Taylor Intimo, Ambizo, White Tea, and so on. It cooperates with many international famous brands and enterprises to provide global consumers with more diversified fashion choices. New Materials Business Division to keep actively participating in the concept of environmental protection. Based on its own advantages in the field of new materials, GISSAGE Group has walked out of a leapfrog development road. At present, 4 manganese product production lines with high degree of automation have been built, which are mainly engaged in the research, development, production and sales of manganese materials such as high-purity electrolytic manganese, electronic-grade manganese tetroxide, battery-grade manganese tetroxide. New Energy Business Division, relying on the industrial chain advantages of GISSAGE Group and professional R&D team led by domestic and foreign experts, GISSAGE is committed to providing photovoltaic plus energy storage, on or off grid solutions for residential and C&I. The company has invested in large-scale factories and has crafted products such as hybrid inverters, lithium battery packs, all-in-one ESS, container ESS, and so on. Its business footprint extends to more than 40 countries and regions around the world, promoting the brand's international development and contributing to the global energy reform process. Bulk Commodity Business Division, it is primarily engaged in the wholesale and retail sale of agricultural, energy, and chemical products, metals, and other commodities. It pursues the Trinity model of combining futures, also pursues cash based on spot trading, industry chain research as the core, and other financial derivatives, with more diversified and efficient trading and investment opportunities. Consumer Electronics Business Division, with its two major brands, Three Winds and Sunlab, focus on consumer electronics products and solutions of high-tech enterprises. The company has a wealth of product development experience and technical strength in the field of intelligent oil, automotive electronics, electronic atomizers, and so on. Besides, it has established stable cooperative relationships with many well-known brands around the world. City Services Business Division, supported by the innovative modes of Platform plus Operation and Platform plus Housekeeper. Through one large digital base, 3 terminals, 9 scenarios, and many open applications, it provides top-level design of digital construction and intelligent operation services for governments and enterprises, covering a wide range of fields such as health, education, and childcare. In addition, it has taken the laundry industry as an entry point to create a green, high-end, and environmentally friendly laundry brand, Dashan Laundry. Chisage Group has created a series of urban complex service projects integrating youth ideal community, creator space, community operation, and intelligent workshop. It continuously realizes the renewal and iteration of production and park. All the way, Chisage has always adhered to the business philosophy of customer first, striver-oriented, synergistic innovation, and maintaining the spirit of hard work and simplicity. It has won the high trust of many partners by virtue of the forward-looking strategic layout and the operational capability of both industry and investment. In the future, we will take a more open mind to collaborate and innovate with our partners and jointly promote the development of the whole industry. The spark of original intention ignites the dream of the brand. The potential of the leap promotes the technological innovation. Chisage Group will continue to transcend itself, advance with the times, go global, and lead the digital era of consumer trade. That's what Chisage is.
Well, there you have it, guys. A bit about the company itself.
How to empower industries.
Very, very grand company. I am now going to love and leave you guys and hand over to my colleague, Arnold. Let him explain a bit about himself and about the product. Thank you very much for your time. And any questions, let us know in the comments. Thanks very much, guys.
Thank you, Thomas. And let's continue on the technical part. Okay, guys. Today we'll talk about our low voltage and high voltage inverters and batteries. So let's start from the low voltage ones. Currently, we have 3 models. It's called Mars, Jupiter, and Venus. Venus is not on the picture, but it's very similar like Jupiter. Both of them are the single phase inverter. Just Jupiter is focused on the high power ones, and Venus is on the low power ones, and it's cheaper. It's about 3 kilowatts or 4 kilowatts. And for Mars, it's our three-phase low-voltage hybrid inverter. And both of them, they are very similar. Both of them support multi-MPPTs and PV input strings. And the maximum PV input current is up to 26 amps. And the charging and discharging current ranges from 120 to 280. And on the single phase is 70 to 210. And the maximum output power is a little bit higher than the rated power. So that is like if you have some conductive load, it can handle it better. And they support both 50 and 60 hertz frequency. And then let's talk about the advantages of our hybrid inverter. They support a parallel operation. It's like when you are off-grid, you can parallel 20 pieces. And when you are on-grid, you can parallel 6 pieces. And they support multi-MPPTs, which means the solution can be more flexible. It's like when you install a system with some solar panel, and later you want to upgrade it, you want to add more solar panels, then you can just connect it to another PV input. And another thing is the time of use function. Actually, a lot of our partners are interested in about this, because some other brands, their inverter doesn't work like doesn't follow the time of use settings. But for our products, the time of use function, you can use SOC and the voltage to control it, like and let the inverter only charge or discharge on certain time. And then it's the AC couple generator and a smart load function. Actually, they're using SIM port, so you can connect an on-grid inverter. You can connect the on-grid inverter and connect generator and the smart load. Smart load is like you have heaters or something. So when you have enough solar power and your battery is already full, your load is not so much, then you have some extra power from the solar. So you can use it to power the smart load. And then it's the protection. Our products, they support IP65 protection. That is much better than those IP20 ones. And we support unbalanced load. Then let's talk about this part. So if you do not support unbalanced output, for example, you have a 12 kilowatt inverter, then you can only connect 4 kilowatts on each phase. But our inverters, they support unbalanced output, so you can connect more than 4 kilowatts on each phase. That also provides a more flexible solution. And then it's about the AC couple feature. You can connect an on-grid inverter to the generator port to expand the capacity of the whole system so that you can have higher power. And the system's topology is like this. So you can see you have PV strings. This is the hybrid inverter, and you connect it to the meter, then the grid, and here's the battery. Here's another on-grid inverter, and you can connect the UPS load to it, or connect it at the grid side. It still can work. Then it's about the parallel connection modes. Actually, we provide 2 ways to parallelize them. The first way is the traditional way. You connect all batteries like to a bus bar and then connect them to each inverter. And the second way is like some batteries you can only parallel 14 or maybe 16 batteries. That's limited by the manufacturer, but we can connect one battery to one inverter and then parallelize the inverters so that you can have 20 pieces batteries in parallel. Then this is the appearance about our hybrid inverter. We can see from left to right, it's the grid port, it's the UPS load port, then the generator port. We can connect 3 different kinds of devices to this port. Then here is the PV inputs. We can see 3 groups of the inputs because it supports 2 MPPTs and the PV1 it supports 2 PV streams. And here is the communication port. It's for BMS, smart meter, CT, and parallel cables. And here is the battery input terminal. Actually, for our Mars and Jupiter, they have 2 different series, G1, G2. In the picture, it's G1, so it's internal wiring. For G2, it's external wiring. So on the G2 model, you can see battery terminals. They are outside, and you can directly connect them. And here is the Wi-Fi logger. When you connect the Wi-Fi logger to the inverter and connect to internet, you can remotely monitor the inverter on our website and on our mobile app and check some settings and do some troubleshoot. So here is the ports on the inverter. From left to right, it's the grid, and then it's generator and the load. On the grid part, it's the ground wire, L1, L2, L3, the neutral. So this is a 3-phase one. And on the load and the generator, their sequence is the same. It's L1, L2, L3, then neutral and the ground. And this is about the installation. It's pretty simple, just like installing a television. You drill some holes on the wall, then install the backplate, then put the inverter on it. And now it's about the settings. When you power on the inverter, you will see this page. At the middle, we can see the inverter icon. If we click on it, we will see more data about the inverter. We can see the voltage, current, and the power about the inverter and generator and the temperature. And this part is pretty important, the inverter stage. When it's showing 30, that means it's on grid and working. When it's showing 10, that means currently it's off grid and working. When it's showing 89, that means it's at the standby mode. Sometimes when we want to upgrade the inverter, we need to make sure it's at a standby mode. And here we can see the INV mode. When you power on the inverter, usually it should be 8 at here. And if you power it off, here will show 0. And sometimes you can see other numbers like a 5 at this part. That means the inverter is trying to activate your battery. Then let's back to the main interface and click on the hybrid inverter text. When you click on it, you will see a more detailed graphic. You can see the power and the voltage on each part, and on the upper right corner, you can see the smart load here. This part, if you connect the smart load, it will show like this. If you connect like AC couple or other things, it will show different at here. Then we come back to the main page and let's talk about other 4 parts. You can see there are other 4 icons, the PV, battery, grid, and load. They are kind of similar. When you click on each one, you will see the power and the voltage on each part. So for example, let's get into the battery one. We can see the voltage, current, and the power at here. And if you click on the BMS, it will show you the BMS data. And it's like we can see the BMS, CMD, charging, discharging current, and the voltage. These data are directly reading from the BMS. It's the charging current that the BMS requests from the inverter. And also we can check the data by day or month or year. Then let's go to the settings. That's the most important part. So when you go to settings, you will see 4 parts. It's battery, grid, professional settings, and the system settings. Let's start from the battery settings. Here, we can see different battery mode. It has lithium, battery voltage, battery percentage mode. Lithium is when you have BMS, you always need to choose the first one. And if you do not have BMS, you can use the second one or third one. And for the battery percentage mode, it's still similar like the voltage mode. Just the inverter will try to use the voltage calculate the SOC, but it cannot be very accurate. So it's still recommended to use the voltage mode. And when you are using lithium mode, we'll need to check the settings in the green box, like the lithium battery mode. This part actually is reading from the BMS, so we don't need to change it. And for the shutdown SOC, low battery SOC, restart SOC, it's like when your SOC is lower than the low battery percentage, it will have an alarm, and you can check it on the inverter. And when the SOC drop to lower than the shutdown SOC, if you have grid or PV power, it will stop output. If you only connect it to batteries, then the inverter will shut down. And SOC is higher than the restart SOC, it will restart or recover the output. And for the PV settings, you can see in the blue box, the default one is like this. And sometimes it's like your solar panels we use is too high or too low. We need to adjust that here. You can click on the value and then input it, then click set, and it will require you to input the setting password. It should be 6 times 8, so it's 888-888. And for old firmwares, it's hard to find it now. But for old firmwares, the password is 750192. But I think in South African market, basically we are all using the new firmware. Then it's battery settings too. On this page, it has 2 parts, the grid part and the generator part. It's all about the charging and discharging. So it's like for the stop discharging SOC, that means when your SOC is lower than this, it will stop discharging. And for the EC charging SOC max, that means it will only use grid charge to this value, like 30%. Then it will use solar to charge. And another important one is the general stop charging SOC. That means your battery will only charge to this one. So from this page settings, it will use grid charge to 30%, then use solar charge to 90% and then stop. So if you want to charge it to higher SOC, you can change the settings at here. Then it's the battery settings 3, and we can see the time of use function at here. So if you want the battery only charge or discharge at a certain time, you can check it at here. We can see 2 options, grid charge and generate charge. If you check the checkbox, that means it will use grid or generator charge it. If you uncheck it, that means it will only discharge to this SOC. And if you click on the SOC percentage button, you will be able to select the voltage, so that you have 2 ways to set this. Then let's go to the grid setting. So in the AC settings 1, you can select the CT and the meter types. If you are not using them, you can just select the none. If you are using them, you need to select the correct meter type and the meter address and the city ratio. These are the specification on the city or meter itself, so you need to check it and input that here. And we can see another part is the INV up rated and INV hertz rated. That means that's about the inverter's output when it's off-grid. So for example, if you are using generator and the generator's output is unstable, so you can use this part to control the output to protect your load. And another part is in the white box, you can see 3 functions: the grid limit, AC peak shaving, and the grid power max. We need to use them together so that we can limit the power from the grid. And we can see another very important one is the PNRLY enable function. That if you enable this when your grid is down, when your inverter is working off grid, it will ground the neutral wire, the neutral relay, so that, for example, we have been one set in South Africa. When their grid is down, when we measure the neutral and ground wire in their house, we found 100 voltage there. That's not safe. So we have to enable this function to ground the neutral when the neutral relay, when the grid is down, so that the island protection will take effect. So that's very important. And then it's settings too. This page is about the generator port. We can connect the smart load and on-grid inverter and the generator to here. So it's like when you are using generator, if your generator is high power and good quality, their output is very stable, then the inverter will follow the voltage and the frequency of the generator. We can use mode 1 PQ to control it. If your generator is low power and the output is not so stable, then we need to select mode 2 VF and adjust the INV voltage rated and hertz rated on another page, so that you can still have the stable output. Then it's the professional settings. This page, mainly we use it to set the work mode. We have 3 different modes. It's a cell first, 0 export to grid, and 0 export to city. The only difference between 0 export to grid port and city is about your home load. If you have city and select 0 export to city, that means when your grid is down, your home load will still have power. The inverter, it will just do not feed back to the grid. And if you are not using city, you can use 0 export to grid port. But that means when your grid is down, your home load will not work as well. Then it's about the system settings. Sometimes when we have some problems with the inverter, we need to upgrade the firmware. So we need to let the customer go to this page, and on the right side, they will find something like update enable. We need to let them check that one, then click on the set and make sure we are able to upgrade the system. So that's the first step. And the second step is we need to let the inverter get into the standby mode. That means we need to turn off the PV and the battery button. So we need to turn off 2 buttons on the inverter, then it will go to standby mode. And we can let the customer back to the main page, click on the inverter icon and take a picture so that we can make sure it's at the standby mode. Then we can remotely upgrade the firmware and fix problem. And during the update, it's like for this inverter in the picture, it's a three-phase inverter. So we can see it has three different firmwares. When we update one firmware, the checkbox will be ticked, and we can see the download and update progress bar. It will show you the current progress of the updating. And at the left side, we can see the date and the time. Usually, we do not need to manually set it because if you have Wi-Fi logger and connect it to internet, the inverter will automatically sync time from internet. And at the lower side, we can see the serial number and the BMS communication. You can select RS485 or CAN protocol, and you can select the different protocol at here. And it's like if you have a lot of batteries in parallel, you need to input the pack set here and click on the battery share. Then it's another page. It's the event. You can check all the warnings at here. And this is also useful when we try to troubleshoot. We need to check the alarm history to know what's going on the inverter. And then it's the device info. It's just some basic info. We can see the serial number, firmware version, and the protocol it's using, and the model. And now let's talk about the parallel connection of the inverters. It's pretty simple. We need to make sure the wiring is correct. So it's two parts. We need to connect the J14 terminals. First, we need to connect the master inverters pin 3 and 4 to the slaves 1 and 2, and the second, and it's like this is the first slave machine, so we need to connect this one's pin 3 and 4 to next one's 1 and 2. So 3 and 4 connect to next one's 1 and 2. Then the last slave inverters 3 and 4 connect to the master inverters 1 and 2. So it will be a circle. So that's the first part. And another part is the parallel cable. We need to make sure the first one's parallel B connected to second one's parallel A. So B to A is the last one's B to first one's A. And after that, we need to check the dip switch. We need to turn on the K6 on the first one and the last one's inverters. Then it will be okay. And here is the wiring of the whole system when you parallelize them. It looks complex, but don't worry. We have a detailed instruction on our user manual, and we also have SOP so that our partners can check it. And then it's about the settings when you are parallel. We need to go to professional settings, and if you have 3 inverters, we need to input 3 in the parallel units total number. And for the 3 inverters, the inverter address should be 135. So if you have 5, then it should be 13579, and then it will work. Then it's about our low voltage batteries. We will introduce our Moon 16 and 8 today. They are very similar, just the only difference is about the capacity. So they are maximum output, current charging and discharging rating 0.47C, and they have LCD display and Bluetooth, so it's easy to check the status and some parameters. And it supports 15 pieces parallel, but if we use another way to parallel, then with the inverter, it can be 20. And our BMS is from India. So this is the wiring of the batteries. The left side is the single battery, so you only need to connect the battery terminals and the BMS, so just the 3 cables. And the second one is the parallel connection. So you connect all positive and all negative to bus bar, and then connect the bus bar to each inverter and parallel the communication cable. And also we have another way to parallelize them. It's a little bit different, and we already showed it in previous pages. And then it's our high voltage inverter, our MERS series. And the power range is from 20 to 60 kilowatts. It has a big screen, it's colorful, it's 6 inches. It's like for some other brand inverters, they do not have screen, so it's hard to monitor the status and harder to know what's going on the inverter. So this screen is very important, and it has intelligent fan cooling, and it has huge heat sink, so the noise is low. It's like 2 weeks ago, I was testing other brands' high voltage inverter, and when it starts up, the noise is very huge. It was like a helicopter in the room, so very noisy. But our inverter is very quiet, and it supports 5 MPPTs, and you can connect the 10 strings PV input. So this is the bottom of the high voltage inverter. We can see the charging and discharging current ranges from 50 amps to 120 amps. It depends on the power and exact model. And the maximum output power is 150 of the rated power, which means when you have some conductive load, it will be easier for the inverter to handle it. And the frequency is 50 and 60 hertz. It's same as the low voltage. Different, and we have 2 independent battery inputs. We can see the battery terminals here. Actually, we can even connect one group of high voltage batteries to 2 ports so that we can support 120 amps high current. And we also support pylon CAN protocol, which means it's compatible with most high voltage batteries in the market. And this is about the unbalanced load for our high voltage inverter. Currently, the unbalanced load on each phase is 22 kilowatts, but later it will support 30 kilowatts. It will achieve that by upgrading the firmware. And then it's about the on-grid and off-grid switch time. It's only 10 milliseconds. Sometimes when we talk about the switch time, we know it's very fast, but we don't understand how fast it is. It's like if you are using a desktop computer, Intel requires the power supply manufacturers to be able to keep the power supply output 12 volts output. When there is power outage, it should keep the output to higher than 17 milliseconds. So our switch time is lower than that, which means if you are using a desktop computer, when the grid is down, your computer will still have the power. It will not shut down or restart. So you don't need to connect a UPS or something. And about the parallel, currently it's 20 pieces off-grid and 6 pieces on-grid parallel, but later we'll have a parallel cabinet, which can make our high voltage inverter support up to 30 inches on-grid parallel. So it's very, very powerful. Then it's about our battery inputs. Actually, we have 2 BMS. That means you can even connect different brand batteries to the battery input, and you can even use one new battery and one old battery. So this is very useful when you want to upgrade the system. It's like you can connect a new battery to the inverter and use it for a few years, and later you want to expand the capacity, you want to connect another battery, that's fine, and it can still work. Then it's the special function of the high voltage inverter. We have talked about we can connect one battery to two battery ports to support higher current. So let's talk about how to do that. So we need to connect all the battery terminals to the inverter. Some batteries, when you check their high voltage box, it has two groups of battery terminals. You can connect all of them to an inverter, then only connect one BMS to the inverter and go to the system settings, enable battery share function, then it will work. And when you do the settings, we need to use the settings password. It's still same as 6 times 8. And here is the appearance and the structure of our high voltage inverter. We can see these are the ports, and this is the inside. We can see the components. They are very strong, very solid. You can see those big terminals. And this is our batteries. From left to right, it's the high voltage inverter, and then the OBE battery is a rack. It's pretty high end because it has fire control and AC inside, so that it can make sure the battery can always work in a good situation. And the third one is we can also install our high voltage inverter on our OBE battery. We can install it on the cabinet so that you don't have to drill some holes on your wall, because the high voltage inverter is pretty heavy. It's 85 kilograms, and if you install them together, if you install it on the OBE battery, it will look better. Yeah. And then it's about our monitoring platform. We're using a website to do all the settings and monitor the status. It's this one, the pv.ntless.com. We can see a very detailed graphic on the website and do some settings remotely and do the firmware update. Also, we have mobile app. It's called PV Pro. It supports both Android and iOS, so you can install it on your phone and check the inverter status and do some settings remotely. So that's very convenient. And I think that's all I want to talk about today. If you guys have any questions, please let us know the commit area, and we will check and answer each one.
Great, thanks very much, Arnold. So what we're going to do now is we're going to leave the live stream open for about 10 to 15 minutes. Any questions that you guys may have, please let us know. We'll be here. If later down the line you think of any questions, you're welcome to reach out to us. I'm sure a lot of you already have our contact details. If not, you're more than welcome to go on our website. There's a ton of emails. You can give us a call, and we'll be more than happy to assist you guys. But again, any questions, please feel free. Write it in the comment section. We can see that live, and we will answer all questions. I'm very glad you enjoyed it, Sydney. We're always here to assist. Anytime in the market is quite difficult at the moment. So any way we can assist, we're more than happy to. Okay. I don't think there's any questions coming in. If you do have a question, like I said, you're more than welcome to send us a message, get in contact with us. We are on LinkedIn. We have our YouTube channel. You can send us an email. On our website is there a lot of contact details. So please, any questions, send us a message. And then I just want to thank you for joining us. It was a blast. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Enjoy the rest of your day, and goodbye.